Hello, my name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. and I was born July 4th, 1986. Today I want to talk about something that I think a lot of us should really get to understand when you want to work with some dogs. And that's the concept of understanding your relationship before you start the training. But the main thing about that relationship is realizing that it's not given. It's not something that should just be guaranteed to you. Just because you feed the dog, just because you give water to the dog, just because you give a nice house to the dog, just because the dog's got a really nice bed, just because you give it any sort of affection, just because you do any of that does not mean that that dog should show you any sort of respect. It's something that I think a lot of us get jammed up with what it is that we're demanding and expecting from our dogs. Like, I'm doing all this for you, so why don't you listen to me? I'm doing all this for you. Why don't you pay attention to me? I'm doing all this. Why are you still being so pushy with me and just being so mean and being so ruthless with me? And it really just comes to realize that the number one way to be able to build that relationship to get it right is to be able to explain to that dog what yes and no efficiently is. A lot of us think that we can say no to our dog and they understand. And I'm going to say that I think the number one problem outside of a relationship issue is being able to have that relationship to be able to say no to your dog. And that dog actually knows what that means. A lot of times people say no and the dog just looks at you like, my name must be No. I really like that movie, Look Who's Talking with Daphne and Rox. I guess my name is No because you always keep saying no, 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 no to me. You ever notice that when you say that word no, that the dog, it never stops, it just actually amplifies and gets it to be even more excitable? That's something that is given to us in a way because the dog doesn't understand what we're looking for. The dog thinks that it's in a level of confusion because we're not clearly speaking to it at all in any sort of way. So the only way to get out of that confusion is to be able to get the dog to understand to respect us. When the dogs respect us, then the no is a very, very amazing tool. It's an amazing word. It's not a word because you're doing something wrong. It's not a word because you're bad. It's not a word of any sort of meaning like that. It's a word of being able to give them guidance and give them guidance to be able to understand what is correct and what is wrong, what I'm looking for, what I'm not looking for. Not in a sense that I'm gonna spank your butt, or you're wrong, you're evil, you're bad, you're any of that. That's not what the word no is. The no could be something, the best way that I can explain it is that dog back there, that I have him go through obstacles, I guess I can say, is getting through fences. So if I go through a gate and I want him to figure out how to be able to follow me if he's not with me, or if I tell him to come to me when I'm way in the back, and I see he's headed the wrong direction, I say, no, 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 no. And he's like, oh, that must not be the way. Maybe which way do I go? He goes that way, and I'm like, no, 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 no. He's like, okay, then I go this way, say yes, 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 yes. So I can say yes and no, and he's like, oh, okay, I understand what you're looking for. Clear communication, clear guidance. It's not a you're bad and you're not right and any of that. It's just being able to explain to the dog what we're looking for. Because the dogs in reality do not understand what is good and what is bad in reality. They only just understand what it is that we tell them to do. What we tell them to do, they're going to continue to keep on doing that. So if your dog is constantly jumping on you, it's because you're constantly telling your dog to keep on doing that. I know it's confusing everybody because you're saying, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing that. But if you're pushing the dog and you're putting hands on the dog, you're doing anything with the dog, that's the relationship you're building with the dog. That you like to do this jumping, pushing thing. If the dog is pulling on leash and going absolutely savage and going absolutely crazy, that's the language that you're explaining to the dog. Keep doing that because that's what I'm looking for from you. But the main thing is to really figure out the start of this relationship is to, again, put the dog on the leash and just hang out with them. The dog is going to be not sure what to do, not sure what's going on, not sure of its expectations. So it's for us to guide them to understand what those expectations are. And at first, it's going to be to just hang out and just chill and just be with us. It's like this right here. She wants to, I'm going to bark at my shadow man because he's staring at her, giving her pressure like, who's this? What's going on? If I go to touch this dog, if I go to do anything to this dog, if I go to even like pull this dog at this moment right now, she's not going to quite understand what it is that I'm looking for from her. But instead, I'm just going to stand here and be neutral. That doesn't affect me. That doesn't matter to me. That doesn't mean anything to me. That is absolutely meaningless to me. And the more and more that I keep on letting her realize that and know that by being a completely neutral person here doing absolutely nothing, the more she's just going to say, okay, I must not have to worry about that. But she's going to have it in her of realizing that behavior, when she acts like that, the first thing we want to do as people is like, and get her and handle her and touch her and do all kinds of like, please stop, please, baby, please. And that's the communication that you're giving to her. That's what you're teaching her, to keep doing that based on what you're doing. But if you do absolutely nothing when these behaviors are going on, you're going to watch all this stuff just disappear. And that is how we start to be able to get the respect of the dog, by being able to give them very, very clear guidance, very, very clear instructions, and not being wishy-washy and confusing in anything in any way. Hey, Johnny, get down. Not being confusing with anything that's going on. And to be very, very clear about what we're looking for is to constantly keep on reminding them of what it is that we're looking for. And what I'm telling this dog right here, right now, is, her name's Piper. I finally got me another dog. Yep, she definitely knows her name. Is to just hang out with me. If you hang out right here, I'm gonna keep you safe. I'm gonna keep you very, very safe. I took this dog straight from my van and brought her straight here just to see. And I told my dogs to give everybody a little bit of space because she's needing that right now. When she sees a dog, she's kind of just, I want to go on edge. I want to bark that away. I'm scared. I'm nervous. But the main thing is, if they come close, I push them away. That's why Shadow's not going to come, because I already done it to him once. He tried to come up, sniff on her butt, and I was like, oh, get out of here, dude. Get out of here. Johnny tried to do it. Get out of here, man. Or all these dogs try to get on this dog, and she didn't feel comfortable. And I told all of them, get the heck away. I'm going to keep this dog safe. And that's where our respect starts to come. That's where she'll start to trust me. That's where she'll start to have faith in me. Because I'm going to consistently keep on making sure that when she's scared, I'm going to make that threat go away for her. But at the same time, there's going to be stuff that's just out there. So that she needs to know, to just have it inside of her, that if you stay here, you're good. You're safe. You don't have anything you need to worry about. You don't need to be on guard. You don't need to be anxious. You don't need to be worried. You don't need to be on alert. You don't need to do any of that. You just need to be able to hang out. And that's where respect comes from. Not because of the food that I give her. Not because of the pets that you give her. Not because she sleeps in the bed and licks you in the face all day. Not because you give her any sort of water. Not because of any of that. Not because you have $1,000 a month vet bill that you keep on paying for them. And none of that is going to gain respect. All that is just going to gain whatever, that's good enough, because you're supposed to do that. That's the minimum mandatory that you have to do. That doesn't mean that you're going to gain any respect from being able to just do the minimum mandatory. It's how we're going to amplify that person or that dog's existence to be able to get them to respect us. When I see that they're nervous, when I see that they're scared, when I see that they're anxious, I'm going to come in and relieve that from you. I see what you're scared of. Her, she's just scared of dogs. She's unsure. She doesn't know what to do when they come too close to her. So it's for me to look at her and say, I understand that you're scared with that. And if you stay with me, I'm going to keep you safe so you don't have to worry about that anymore. And then day after day, she's going to start to trust me more and more and more. And this is something that we all can do. You know, I say we and me, I'm a dog trainer, but this is something that I want to be able to teach every single person to do, that if these techniques don't work out for you, then you may want to call someone to figure out how to go next, because I'm missing something. But this is stuff that we should be doing all day, and have it in your brain of realizing that you're going to have and maintain this animal for the next 15 years plus of your life. This isn't some 2-week thing or 2-year thing or even a 5-year, 10-year. This is a 15-year commitment that you put yourself into. So when you have that commitment that you're worried about and you should be constantly thinking about all the time, is you should be doing small little things each day. Don't expect just a greatness overnight. That's where, yes, if a dog trainer comes in, they should be able to show you significant gains day by day by day. This shouldn't take no months. I work dogs 2-3 days and I see a significant difference that we've just never been before. Yeah, or I'll get down. That we start to do with. But for the average person out here, the slow and steady method is the method that you want to use. That's the method I use with my dog that I take out to the lake every single day. I never expected him to be perfect day one. I never expected to be able to bring this dog out here and be able to make sure that she's not going to bark at anything. I'm going to slowly introduce every little thing. I'm going to slowly keep on adding more and more distractions. I'm going to slowly keep on putting her in stickier situations. And it's for me to figure out what is it that she's scared of. What is it that she's nervous about? What is it that just frightens her? It's for me to figure that out. For me to put her in scenarios and situations to figure out what is it that's driving her a little crazy. And then it's for me to be able to just get her to be okay and be in the middle of it and be around it without having any sort of issues. So right now, she's day one, moment one, she's just gonna hang with me. You see how she's not giving me any attention. She's not giving me any feedback. She's not giving me any sort of just recognition. She's on a mission of just doing whatever she wants to do. And then she sees something scared, she thinks that she needs to bark it to get it away, that I'm not gonna do it for her. So day after day, I'm gonna notice a significant change with this dog where she'll just start giving me more attention, more affection. Right now, she's not ready to be touched. Right now, she's saying, I need some space. You see, she's pretty much taking almost the full length of the leash. She said, I need some space right now. And I'm cool. You can have all the space you need until you can realize that I'm here to help you out. I'm not gonna force myself and reel her in and start touching on her and telling her it's okay and telling her everything is all right. No, I'm just gonna hang out a moment. I'm just gonna chill. And allow her to be able to make the decision when she thinks that I'm good to go. When she realizes that, then you're going to see a significant difference with this dog and how she acts with any situation, any scenario. This is a dog that I was working with the people going every day and working over and over, and she just has an issue with barking and going crazy at other dogs. She's much better today, but today even I'm using a completely not different, but adding on to a technique that I used to do. I don't really care to use too much of the pressure method anymore. That's basically how she got snapped out of it. She wants to bark at dog, leash pressure comes on, I'm telling you to stop. As opposed to just putting her and exposing her in it and allowing her to see and realize that everything is okay. And this is a beautiful thing for me to be able to revisit some old work that I've done, to be able to see the substantial difference that I'm going to see in this dog. I've already seen a huge difference already instantly since day one that I was working with her and seeing her on a huge change, that she's starting to really understand like things are okay. And that's what the dog is looking for from us, to be able to put them in those scenarios that they're scared of and push them through it to realize that it's okay. But the first thing they have to do is they have to trust us. They have to believe in us. They have to realize that we are that safety net regardless of what's going on out there. Just pay attention to me and everything is going to be good for you. Even here, she's not giving me any affection. So I'm not going to impose myself on her. She decides to lay down and say, okay, cool, girl. You lay down and just chill out. And this is the one thing that I'm going to say happens to 100% of dogs. When you just put them on a leash and you just stand, they will lay down and relax. And then once she relaxes and chills, then she's going to start to be able to soak in the environment. She's going to be able to soak in what's going on. She's going to be able to see it and realize that everything is okay. Everything is fine. And once they get into that state, now I could take a step forward. I would literally take a step forward. I would just move further down the driveway or get to the end of the driveway and then stand there, and it's going to start all over again. They're going to be all moving, and then get her to calm down again. Just relax, just chill. I thankfully for my setup here is have the availability of having pretty much any scenario within my reach on my property. Where if you got a dog that's crazy over cats and squirrels and rabbits, I mean, I've got chickens, I've got all this stuff out here. I've got multiple dogs to be able to make sure that I know that I can communicate to tell them if you're getting too pushy, getting too close, I can tell them to get away, to help the dogs to be able to realize that. I got a dang donkey out here that really puts pressures on the dog to let the dog realize that we're good to go. And I even have control over the dang on donkey. So I have a different setup here to be able to fast track some things. To be able to, in days and hours and in a week's time, I just see significant differences. But it's something that I've learned with just realizing how these methods and what it is that I keep on consistently doing to be able to get the dog to be able to get in a good place. And that is putting them in their fears. That is pushing them through it. And that's where respect starts. It starts. You're still not going to get it, but it's going to start there. And then you have to repeat over and over and over and over again. And then they're going to finally just drop the worrying about the world and worry about you. The one day, this dog will always just keep on focusing on me, not me, but her owner. It's just going to focus on them. It's just going to focus on them. She's not going to care about the rest of the world going on because they're going to know that you're taken care of. Everything is good. It's the number one thing. When the dog is freaking out, when the dog is going crazy, when the dog is doing the most, when the dog is just doing extra, when the dog is jumping and lunging, when the dog is barking and going crazy, you got to just let them get it out. Get it out of your system. They can't go through that for too long. They're going to have a time that they just have to stop because, for one, if they get too tired with it, don't worry about what someone's going to think and someone's going to say. You got to do what you got to do with yours. You got to make sure that your dog and your animal is going to be good to go. And you have to help your dog through that. You can't just run away from it. You can't just escape all the time. You can't just avoid every situation. Stuff happens. And when I go to the lake with my dog, I have to train my dog to know that an off-leash dog is going to go get off nose to nose in his face. I can't run away from it. I'm not going to run away from the world and run and keep my dog hidden because I'm scared of what someone else is going to do. No, we can work our animals through these situations. And that's for us, dog owners, that we should be doing that for our dogs. Not to try to hide them, but to just expose them to realizing that, hey, stuff's going to happen. Someone's going to touch your dog. It's going to happen. You're going to tell them no, and they're going to look at you and just say, I don't care, and just do it anyways. It just happens. Children are going to walk up and touch your dog. Other dogs are going to walk up and touch your dog. There's going to be deer on the path. They're going to come up. They're going to be on your dog. It's the main thing to be able to communicate to the dog. Come closer to me, and then I'm going to be able to help you out more. But when those scenarios come, I'm going to be able to manage that and take care of it for you. You don't need to react yourself. I'll react for you. And that's what we always want to communicate to our dogs. And I'm telling you again that is when your dog is going to respect you. It's not going to respect you because of food or treats or praise or pets or baths or snuggles. It's not going to respect you for any of that. That is all mandatory to just be able to keep the dog to stay alive. That is not something that is going to be able to fulfill the dog. And then next for me, what I do when she starts to be able to pay attention to me, she starts to want to see me. She wants to start to just focus on me. And then I'm going to go to the point of figuring out what is it that she's looking for. What is it that drives her? Because you see right now, she's like, I'm going to go and snip. I'm going to go and snip. I'm just going to stand here as a post to say she can put the leash pressure on herself. At some point, she's just going to, I don't want to go too much into that. I'm done with that. And then she'll come on back. She's learning her boundaries, how far she can go. And I'm telling her this is the bubble of safety. Anything outside of this bubble, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Something might be danger. This dog might want to run up on you. That dog might want to run up on you. Something out here might want to come and try to get you. I might have a rooster out here that might try to do something wild. And I might have this dog here. He's creeping back there. He's like, he might come closer. And if he comes closer, I got to get him to get away. But right here, you're safe. Right here, everything's good to go. And this is the number one step. And I'm glad to be able to have another dog so that you could see. And I'm so glad that she reacted to another dog. Right here to show you, it's nothing that we should do anything with. If we're grabbing the leash, we're holding them close, we're trying to choke them in, if we're touching them and holding them, that's communicating to them to keep doing that. You want to be neutral. You want to be not even caring, not even in it. The dog is barking. You even want to just like look away, like I don't even want to focus or pay any attention to that. I just want to go somewhere. I'm not even in that. To let the dog know that that is not what you're looking for it to do. That's how you're going to stop a reactive dog from barking at other dogs, from barking at other people, from doing any of that, is being a neutral person and allow them to just go through it with giving them zero feedback of, hey, Oreo, get down. Giving them zero feedback of saying yes or even a no. When the no is going to be automatically assumed when they just go ahead and lay down and realize like, okay, you must not want me to do this. Hey, May, I need you to get out of here, girlfriend. You too close to me right now. You be all right. You still broke down, May. She broke down. She'll get better one day soon enough. I don't know why I call her broke down May. It just is what it is. But the main thing is we got to make sure that we're not giving them feedback of doing that reactive, the reactivity. They're not doing that aggressive looking stuff. That we're not telling them yes, and we're not telling them no. And once they don't do anything, then they're going to figure it out all on their own. And then they're going to look at you and want to pay more attention to you to figure out more. Like, what's the next step now? What's next? We're not ready for what's next. This is going to take another day, another 2, another 3, another 8, another 20. I don't know. But it's going to get to the point where she's just going to finally look at me with respect and say, dude, you somehow keeping me safe out here. How are you doing that? Hey, Oreo, you being super pushy this week. Super pushy. That's one thing I like about these border collies. They will push you. They'll push you, and there's some excitement behind that for me personally. You know, a lot of people don't clearly like that about dogs, but I do like that because it lets you be able to continuously keep on working to be able to get into a better place with them. It's a forever thing. It's not a trained and done. We're constantly working and 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 working. And you signed up for that the day that you've decided to get that dog. I don't care if you bought the dog, you adopted the dog, whatever you did with the dog, you found the dog on the side of the street. You signed up for that gig. You said, I'm doing this and I'm going to take care of this. And that's just what you absolutely have to do. You can't just put it away and put it off to the side and think that it'll get better one day. It never gets better one day. It only gets better when you start to work on it. So with that, man, the main thing that I just want everyone to focus on is put the leash on the dog. And anytime the dog is doing something wild, is doing something crazy, is doing something savage, you are going to completely be a neutral person. You're not going to say yes, you're not going to say no, you're not going to do anything, but allow the dog to be able to just get through the emotions themselves. They're going to figure it out on their own. The main thing is they're going to figure out what it is that they do not want to do. Every single time I've seen a dog, 100% of the time still, the dogs that are reactive at dogs and people that are barking and going crazy, they do not want to do it. They're doing it because they think that we're telling them to do it. Because if they react, we pull on the leash, we start touching them, we start saying, oh, no, no, no. We start doing stuff like that. And that's explaining to the dog to keep doing it. When you stay neutral in those circumstances, the dog is going to realize all on its own, okay, that person must not want me to do it because I hate doing this, and they stop doing it. That's the only way. This isn't a training in reality. It's getting the dog socialized to the world, socialized to the environment, socialized to everything out there. And that's the only way to get it to go away. Otherwise, you're going to constantly keep on having a leash pressure, corrections. You're going to have to keep on constantly making sure that they're in a perfect heel all the time, doing a focused heel at you so they can't even see the world. You're going to be doing that all forever. You want the dog to just trust you. When the dog trusts you, it doesn't need to react to anything anymore. And that's the start of being able to have what I'm going to say is a really, really nice dog. And that start is very, very simple for every single person to start. Don't come in with, let me give her treats. Let me give her a toy. Let me give her praise. Let me just be neutral. Be neutral. Just hang out. Just chill. Just chill. And your dog is going to be a way better dog. Just by that. By literally doing nothing at all, your dog's going to be better. By doing more and more and more, your dog is going to continue to keep on doing more in a way that you are just not going to be happy with. And that's something that is an absolutely amazing thing when you just realize that we're doing too much and we need to start doing less. And I'm just impressed with you, Piper, right this second, that this boy can be right here and she just isn't going to care too much about it. She just realizes it's okay. Everything is all right. You see how she's going to give a little attitude. And then I'll just take her away. And she told him get away. And he's like, oh, I'll get away. I'll stay away from that. But she still doesn't trust me. She still doesn't respect me. She still has it in her, I need to do that myself. I need to do that. I need to make it happen. But there'll come a day where she's going to say, everything is all right. I don't need to worry. There's no danger out here. And it's a beautiful thing to just do nothing, to realize and watch these things go away. The more that we do, the more that you're going to keep seeing it just escalate, escalate, escalate. The more you do nothing, it'll disappear. Thank you.